And then he made a stream about me with, I don't know, old like comments. So I don't
They
know.
know consent from a while ago, but trying to make amends at the moment. Two-Face fucks. Oh, I don't know. So you're saying Tommy Boy been around for a lot longer than they let on?
I almost don't trust Tommy Boy. I'll be honest with you.
You almost don't trust who?
Tommy Boy?
Oh, really? Wow, I never thought you'd say that.
I sure don't.
What did he do to change your mind?
I'm not talking about Tommy Sellers. I'm talking about Tommy Boy.
Oh. Yeah, I don't either.
Because he's always talking about he don't want drama and all that, but that's all his thing.
That's all he brings. Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Him and Cap are the worst ones in the community.
Good morning.
Morning.
That says it all. Maybe I'll just leave now. I think that.
Yes,
I mean,
Mark,
am I hearing that I'm supposed to take the fall for this latest
Oh my
sloppy
God.
organization? Hearing that's what I'm hearing.
right
All right,
now,
I'm outta here.
and you got to do it because the gatekeepers said so.
It's all about Sam. I'm out of here. Later, nerds.
Right? Bye, guys.
All right, Tommy.
That's why I'm excited. That's why I'm excited to buy your morally bankrupt studio out of bankruptcy, because you it's so easy to do your job.
All right, I'm going to let you all both go. Stay tuned for maybe some catches. You might get to see some catches, Bill, this week.
Yeah, I heard there's an awesome collab going on right now, but because of the bullshit, we're not allowed to see it live.
Who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
All right, everybody, I'm out. We'll be back when we're live with the catch. See you. Bye. It's a wrap, y'all. This was it was pretty special. I think we did something pretty cool. Like I said, this whole trip was a joke to a lot of people. And, you know, certain folks believe that it could be something cool, and then it mattered and everybody tried to derail it. But this is how good looking I am after this weekend. I'm fucking strapped. There are news platforms in our community that need to be respected, and there are things that need to be addressed. I've been drinking and I'm feeling violent.
Wow. And I'm a blowhard.
I'm going to be up here for just 1 minute because I've been real busy the last couple days. Yeah, so you know, I was a catcher for 6 catches.
Oh.
You know, a lot goes into this catching. It was pretty crazy to try to put it all together and get it done in a very safe, nearly flawless manner. You know, the other thing is we're going about this the Weld County way, and we're working on the Weld County way, which is once we have all of the evidence and we have all of the videos and we have all the chat logs ready to go, that will be submitted to each of the jurisdictions in which the predator was caught. And sniffing visors, it's called the Weld County Way. The Weld County Way is once we do a confrontation, which we did 6 of them.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
I happen to know that report from the detective up in Weld County is distributed and available.
I know you guys already know this, but I'm going to give you guys a statute on imminent missing of a child. Okay. As you notice on that, you guys know the phone conversations or the texts, however that needs to be, with the intent for some sort of sexual act and coming to meet that person in person, right?
Yep.
Problem is, it doesn't say you need to have them here in person to commit that crime.
Correct.
Okay, you don't need it. For us, statutorily, we don't need that. Okay.
Yeah,
we
it
just
actually
need.
even states at the bottom that shall not be a defense for them that they did not meet.
Correct. So we don't need it. Okay. So again, when you bring them down here into these public areas, high traffic areas, places where kids are, like you said, a park, 7-Eleven, you're exactly right. That's almost creating a situation. We don't need it to charge it. We don't need it. Okay. For that charge, so we don't need your meat.
I know
you're not doing that for an arrest. You're doing it for your channel.
That part, yes, because
and that's a problem.
The Weld County Way is not about turning in all of the evidence, you idiot. If anything, it is about not setting up confrontations with the predators and simply submitting evidence directly to the police.
So for our cases, we're following the departments that we were at. They were contacted prior, and that's how we're following their procedures. They did not, want police called to the scene. So yeah, we had a discussion. Coming into this, we knew that Florida, from the catchers, from the experience, I mean, this is not like we woke up one day and it's like, we realized that patrol officers in Florida, very difficult time making arrests. And so we did not feel that dispatch patrol officers were equipped to handle this. We've completed sort of the initial process of getting these into the spaces and places. I was told that Florida courts don't accept them. I don't know. I didn't understand that, but I was told that essentially they can't prosecute these cases if it's done by a private citizen. That's what one of the police officers told me. Actually, 2. I reached out, in addition to several others reached out to law enforcement prior to these catches to see what format and how, if we wanted the cases to be prosecuted, how the evidence would be and could be delivered.
Do you feel that with what was going on, do you feel that that was put into jeopardy with what's going on right now?
Not at all. I think that the main thing that drives these types of investigations are submitting all the evidence, sort of the Weld County way. It's not about getting officers there under the guise of getting people arrested, under the guise that you give a shit and you care. Calling the police and getting them there to have whatever is really immaterial. We have and will and are submitting these cases.
So wait, you guys actually turned in your evidence?
We are.
Wow.
We are in the process of turning in. Look,
I'm just playing.
Lock, all of the evidence. All of the evidence. Not a sheet of paper and a binder, and they want everything. And they said they don't want the evidence until it's all there, everything, or don't even submit it. But the whole goal is to make sure that we have all of the evidence. It's about getting the evidence in the hands of the detectives and getting all of the evidence in the hands of the detectives. That's all that matters. The initial receipt of this information was not specific enough or detailed enough. They didn't want specifics and details. They wanted the evidence. They need everything. And sometimes they ask for things that they shouldn't need. Look, all of the evidence. All of the evidence. About getting the evidence in the hands of the detectives. Everybody sort of had their own roles. And, we did a lot of prep. And so we wanted to do the most comprehensive thing, which was to make sure that we had all of the evidence at the conclusion and turn it in. So ultimately, it's something that me and Ray and the decoy will work to turn in either in person or submit it to their online portal.
That kind of why maybe you didn't turn it in immediately, because you didn't want them to know Edward was a part of it?
No, I said that there was, as someone who had not done any catches previously,
sure,
I was not aware of or educated on who specifically turns in what in the cases in which if police officers don't respond to the scene or we didn't call them, who and when and where does it get turned in after the catch? So I reached out, in addition to several others reached out to law enforcement prior to these catches to see what format and how, if we wanted the cases to be prosecuted, which we do, how the evidence would be and could be delivered. Prior to this trip, I held several meetings in which we went over logistics of these catches about educating me on what needs to be done to comply with various things, including law enforcement. Because it was Florida, actually Cam was the one that let us know, and some of the decoys, that Florida would be a very difficult state to work with as it relates to law enforcement. I guess he assumed that I would know what to do after the trip with the evidence to turn it in, but it wasn't determined prior to it. And I was under the impression that it was generally either the catchers or the decoys that turn in their own evidence for the cases. So, yeah, I think that calling the police allows for an attempt to identify the predator on the scene, and I think that our assessment that the Florida law enforcement wouldn't respond in a timely manner or they would harass us was, yes, I would have called the police.
And the other thing too is, like, Edward is my friend. Edward is my friend. And I do believe that he got caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he loves to tear people down at his expense, and he thinks it's funny. And that's what the channel was built upon. And it's fucking gross. You can't do shit over the internet, man. Like, I would love to be in front of somebody's face and respond differently. Yeah, Edward fucking lied to me, and he was facing those charges, and he went down on the trip, and it was fucking humiliating. So when I got home from Florida, Cap, and I was fucking mortified over what I was attached to, and the police records aren't turned in, and the whole fucking everything's up against me, like, I went down to do something I was super proud of, and it's forever tainted by the fact that the guy was basically under investigation for fucking CP.
And so I am Edward's friend. I 100% believe that Edward is innocent and not guilty of anything in this case. I am 100% certain. 100% certain. And it was a mutual decision from me and Ray to have him come. Edward pays for sophisticated software and things to identify predators' locations on the scene. And that was his role. Forget like who was there, like what witnesses were there. Edward would be considered a witness. Just like the case in Tommy's, you have to have everybody that was a witness, their identification, but he was there as a witness. We will cooperate, and with the questions that are asked of us as witnesses, and the decoys, the questions will be answered. They're asked and answered. And when it comes down to it, credibility matters in these cases. It does. And lying crackheads don't do great in front of a jury.
Do you think that there's ever a possibility that they're going to say everyone who was there has to come in? What do you think they're going to say if they see that attached to him?
I don't believe that it would affect a criminal proceeding like you are implying. That someone who was there who didn't touch any of the evidence or participate in any of the collection of that evidence. Edward pays for sophisticated software and things to identify predators' locations on the scene, and that was his role.
I've been on catches where someone was just standing there and law enforcement wanted their name and their information. They are a witness. And if they see your videos and they see him in, everybody in, whoever's in your videos, they're gonna wanna know who all of those people are. You don't think they might question that?
They need everything. And sometimes they ask for things that they shouldn't need. Edward being there, obviously, it might have been better if he wasn't on the trip, but that doesn't sidestep the fact that he did help us identify predators' identities. You have to have everybody that was a witness, their identification. I did say that Edward's participation in the trip was helping identify predators. I don't think that that's a large portion of the
Yes, it is.
The decoying.
Yes, it is. I mean, you can't say on streams, oh, Edward does so much and he helps so much in the background and does this and does that, and then come on here and say, oh, he didn't do anything other than stand there.
What now? You stupid idiot.
I know Tommy doesn't update anything about it in Marcus, but I fully intend to go the opposite way and update everybody. I will personally update everyone as this evidence gets submitted and has been submitted, whether there will be an open investigation into the cases and if any criminal charges come about.
Samantha, did you guys turn the evidence in from that catch?
Well, I mean, it involves two of the cases have the entire file has been submitted, yes. So the other four cases
they weren't turned in?
It's not that they weren't turned in. They will be turned in when we get the process for the county, the detectives, and how they want the evidence submitted. So I will update everybody as soon as we do that.
Oh, please do this, Samantha.
I know that people continue to try to denigrate the trip for repeated attempts to knowing what the case and the evidence is. And they have a right to know when we turn in the evidence and what the process is and what the proceeding is for the case. So I do intend on ensuring that everything gets submitted. And we will follow through on the cases. All of them. I will update you guys as soon as we have more information in the cases. We'll see how these cases progress. Like I said, I will personally, give an update to the community as these cases are submitted and prosecuted. It was very clear that Ray was going to take the lead on all of the questioning and interrogating and controlling the setting, and we were there to support that. I was proud to stamp my name with his. I know I was proud to stamp my name with everybody there.
And where's CPP? I have no fucking idea where Sam is. He was up there on locksmith's panels screaming at other people. Something that I kind of told him is probably not a good look for somebody who's trying to be a benefactor to the community.
And, I turned in my primary job after the trip was to it became turning in the evidence to the detective. So that took some time.
And I didn't have a chance, and the other people who came along and didn't really contribute much to it. And Sam's out there taking fucking victory laps, without even turning the stuff into the cops.
I didn't think that he was essentially dumping it in my lap. And while ultimately I'm the one that paid for this,
We could have done a better job organizing how the evidence would be turned in after the trip as a team.
what I turned in, what we had, which was the decoys information, as well as the videos, all the videos that were taken, as well as all the chat logs.
So yeah, I was fucking mortified. I was embarrassed. It was I literally felt like the biggest piece of fucking shit in the world. And all I tried to do was spin it so that I wanted to do something cool.
And, I worked very hard for a couple weeks to make sure all the evidence was turned in.
You can't put words in my, it's not victim, it was fear. It's not victim. Ain't nobody victimizing me. I'm scared to have my shit out there. It's not a victim shit. No one's done anything to me. I am fearful of I'm fearful of the retribution.
What difference does it make if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later? It makes no difference legally.
Yeah, I told you I was fucking terrified that they're gonna sit out there if you don't think people ran my license plate when I was down with them.
Since December, there has been this relentless attempt to get my personal information. And then I think that there was this idea from this group, Bill, that you've documented, FBC, that is routinely and regularly dox people, harm people, hurt people.
I would ask, why do people want to know? Because this trip has become so hot and people have said so much false bullshit, and there's a group of malicious people that want to dox and harm people. But for this trip in particular, there's a malicious intent with, did you turn in the evidence so we can obtain it and dox it?
I think it more has to do with who was on the trip.
I did say that Edward's participation in the trip was helping identify predators.
It was fear. It's not victim. Ain't nobody victimizing me. I'm scared to have my shit out there. It's not a victim shit.
And I did feel as though that there was this group of people in chat that were under these sock accounts that were demanding the Florida evidence be turned in so that they could immediately FOIA and request the police reports in order to dox my information.
I just came back from North Carolina, did 2 catches there. It took 3 days for us to turn in the evidence.
So if someone asks you, to show us that you actually turned in the evidence, how would you go? Would you turn over the police report that was generated with your information on it and a case number?
I would show the fucking email of me sending it to the officer.
So you would show an email, but was there an actual police report?
I mean, we gave our information to the police, so I'm sure there's an incident report.
Yeah, and you gave your information with your phone number and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're okay.
That's the problem over here on this one.
So if you wanted to turn over a case number, would you turn it over to the community if somebody asked you, hey, what was the case number for that case?
If I had it handy, yeah.
Okay. And you wouldn't have a problem if that has your information on it and it has your decoys information and there's not a concern about any identity issues?
I mean, if they want to know what my name is, go right ahead. I don't care.
Okay. Well, you're under a little different scrutiny than folks on this trip, but if you think that if someone has, but nobody has asked you for it, but you would, if I'm asking for it to you now, you release it, I guess, to the community?
I will show the email. I have no problem, but I have it right here.
Okay. Well, no, the email, but I'm saying that there's a demand for a police report. So I'm saying, Vaisal Vai, would you turn over a police report? When I say that these are non-catchers saying this, see, I'm not asking it of you because I know how it works because I've had to go through it the last month.
If they ask me for it right now, I would have to say wait till the morning so I can call the department and get the case number.
Anyway,
would you say, Toe, there's the potentiality that some people might want these police reports to dox, which you've just admitted is the lowest of the low? Would you say that's a possibility?
When I had the chance.
Yeah, and just to answer Real MasterCard real quick, no, it wasn't my identity that I was worried about. I don't owe anything to anyone, and I'm not going to supply anything to anyone. For those that are reaching out to me or want me to sort of spill beans or confirm details or talk about the Florida trip, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I think that's inappropriate. I think it's gossip. And additionally, I don't owe anybody anything. I owe it, as you owed it, to the decoys and the team to let them know the status of the evidence being turned over. And I don't owe it to any of the trolls that want to do it to harass and dox. I don't have to prove to you or anyone else that the evidence was turned in.
Well, you certainly need to prove it to the decoy team, I would have thought. It's none of my business, I agree. I mean, if...
So there you go. They already have. How do you know they haven't been given the evidence?
Where are the videos at, bruh? Like, it's been a minute. Like, we want to see these catches. Like,
I'm not an editor, and I don't have someone to edit them. If it's specifically asking about the footage that I was responsible for, I've already said that it's not been edited. So let's get that footage out. I'm not sure this reliance on me, who doesn't have any editing skills.
That's your power, right? That's the gatekeeping shit, right? It's like a news.
You have the Sam. You have the ability. You have the ability to go on a channel.
I don't run a channel. I don't select targets.
Sam, if you comment on a YouTube chat, you have a channel.
Run a channel as if run live streams and run videos and shit like that. But okay.
If the only thing barring these things from being put up is them being edited, then I don't understand what the hell's the problem.
Right. So there's two factors of where would they be put up. Would we put them up on Rumble or YouTube or Odyssey? So it's finding a venue to put them up. The second thing is again, you're referring to the footage that I was responsible for. The primary footage was from the live stream that has been downloaded. Why that hasn't been posted is not really a question for me. If you're asking for the exposure reasons, why the videos from the catches have been downloaded or in the possession of, the catchers that were there and those that took videos from it. What are you? If you're asking for any other footage that was taken beyond that, it hasn't been edited yet.
You got a cameraman?
We had a video of the catches, but that's secondary to...
Did you hire a secondary cameraman that nobody knows about?
You all saw, if you watched the catches, Ray or Christy streaming them, right?
Did you hire a secondary cameraman for these catches? It's a yes or no question.
It's a yes or no question, Ryan.
And you have a pretty good idea of why we're here, right, sir? Yeah. Why are we here?
Yeah, like I came to meet.
But you...
Remember, you stayed
Who
put.
told that? No.
But you...
Remember, you stayed
Who told that?
Hi, I'm a middle-aged white man who's trying to make up for several years of failed childhood success and high school success and being bullied throughout my entire life by passing out cash in the YouTube community for friends, guys.
You've proved yourself to be a fucking liar.
Well,
Samantha, what was it like getting picked on as a kid growing up?
Sam, were you in marching band in high school?
I was surprising as is my thing. I was an athlete in high school.
I was a champion debater, but I was a champion debater in high school as I took down Ryan in several debates over the last couple months.
What now?
Why is there a double standard? Shove a 10-inch dick in his mouth.
New subject. Hey, this is going nowhere. Can't we go back to the earlier in this thing where we're talking about like our first rock concerts and stuff like that? What was your first rock concert?
I think I went to U2. It was a U2 concert.
Ha! Gay! That's when people like us have got to forge ahead, Helen. Am I right?
God, you're sick. Tell you what, I'll go turn the fryers back on and throw some wings in for you.
Hey, thanks, Helen. Tummy likey. Tummy want wingy.
Maybe I can show you something too.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in accent sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks. I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in accent sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks. Honeys wanna chat, but all we wanna know is where the party at. And can I bring my jack? If not, I hope I don't get shot. Better throw my vest on my chest, cause niggas is a mess. It don't take nothing but front for me to start something. Bucking and fucking at niggas like I was